tips and tricks on how to kind of make the most of Schoology and how to just kind of arrange some things to make Schoology even more friendly. First item I'm going to show is how to organize your courses. The first thing we're going to do is click on courses. You should see probably a huge list of courses. Part of that is both of your semester 1 and semester 2 courses are showing up in the list. As I mentioned in my email, I'll do some things on the first day of school to kind of help clean that up. But I want to show you how you can organize those classes a little bit better. So after you've clicked on courses, come over here and click on My Courses. Now I have arranged my courses and I've done what we've called linked our sections together. Why I think it's beneficial to link sections is if you think of it, instead of having 3 separate classes for, let's say, 7th grade social, this is really just having one class with 3 different sections in it. And the way that I did that is normally it would list period 2, period 4, period 7, 3 in a row. What you can do is come over here to this gear. You can click link existing section. Because I've already done that, in fact, I can unlink mine, I think. I'm going to go ahead and unlink them. It'll always ask you if you want to download the information. Because your courses are blank, you don't really need to worry about that. But here I go. So this is typically what it looks like by default. You have period 2, period 7, period 4. I have also edited my courses. I can change kind of the section name. So you can delete some, if it says like your last name in there, you can kind of edit those section names to make them a little bit easier to read. But when I come up here and I click on link existing section, I can choose the sections that I want to put together. So period 2, period 7, period 4, all of these are semester 2 classes. I click next, asks me if I want to download the information. Standard CVS, doesn't matter because there's no information in there anyways, and go ahead and click link. When you do that, again, all of those features or all those sections are going to be together. What's really nice is, again, you can post materials to just one section. There are a lot of benefits. If I add an assignment, I can pick which sections I want to be able to assign it to. So I can pick just period 2, I can pick just period 4, pick period 7. You have a lot of different features within there. When students submit assignments, I'll see all the assignments in one spot. I can click on period 2, period 4, period 7. Just a better way to kind of look at your classes. I highly recommend. A few teachers tried it out last year and really, really liked this feature. So again, by clicking on My Courses, you can link those sections together, which I have done here. The other thing you're going to want to watch for, especially early on before the school year starts, is when you have 2 sections that are the same. Again, one of them is going to be semester 1 and one is semester 2. The way to tell the difference is by clicking on one and then coming down here on the left side, the grading periods, quarter 1, quarter 2. So that's the one I want to keep active first. This is the one that's going to hide once I select to hide upcoming courses, quarter 3, quarter 4. So this will pop up during that during Christmas break, during that new school year. So that's kind of how you can tell the difference between which ones are semester 1, which ones are semester 2. Again, I'll do some things to help clean that up, but in the meantime, that's something that you can watch for. One final item about classes and organizing. If you come here on the left side on members, you'll already see your classes have automatically populated. This is information based on Synergy. If they switch a student in Synergy, they will automatically switch over in Schoology, so you don't need to worry about getting them into the correct section. If they switch from period 2 to period 4, Schoology will automatically pull that information from Synergy. So you can see the kids are already preloaded. These access codes, even though they are there, the students do not need these. If you have any paraprofessionals or special ed teachers that are joining your class, you can add them. One thing to note about paraprofessionals is you need to make them an admin in the class to prevent them from being kicked out. So any adults or anybody you have in your class, you need to make them an admin. Again, you can do that by settings. Make admin. They have different permissions in the class, so they don't have all the same abilities that you do, but making them an admin will prevent them from being kicked out. One of the new features on the Enterprise version is this assessment tool. Now notice this is different than the add test or quiz. The test or quiz has pretty much the standard multiple choice, short answer, fill in the blank type questions. The assessment is actually a new option, so I'm just going to put a test in here. I'm going to just add a couple of items there, and then I'm going to go ahead and show some, you have the basic functions about what you want to do, but I'm going to show you all the question types that are available to you here. So you can go through your setup, you can read, there's more options there, but I want to show you the questions. Look at all the question types you get with an assessment. Same ones, multiple choice, true, false. You got your matching, your ordering, but what is nice, you have things like drag and drop, where you can have students, drag a blank into an answer. They can answer with audio, they can answer with video, file uploads, but these functions down here are what are really cool. So highlight a hotspot. Basically what you do is you are going to insert a picture, and then you're going to tell Schoology what you want the students to be able to click on. So if you had a picture of a food item, or a picture, then you wanted students to click on all of the items that are wrong with that food item, you could do stuff like that. Math short answer, they have a specific thing for math teachers. A lot of things that I don't necessarily understand, but you have the ability to do some more math functions there. Number lines, charts, parts where students have to highlight text. So language arts teachers, science teachers, go through this paragraph and find the information. So just notice that the assessment piece has a lot more functionality there, something that could be very, very useful for your students. Otherwise, it functions pretty much the same as the test quiz, but just has a lot better options for you to make questions. All right, the third feature I'm going to show is Gradebook Passback. Now, we actually have the ability to pass back grades from Schoology to Synergy. Now, there's a little bit of setup and there's a little bit of getting the hang of, and it's not a perfect system, but there is the object or the ability to pass grades directly from Schoology into your Synergy. So I'm going to show you kind of how that functions. So when I have to do a little work here first. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this Schoology SIS Connect. The first option here is sync grades. I'm going to come over here to configuration. Now what this is doing is this is picking out all of the different learning target, gradebook setup things from Synergy that you have. So if you had all that stuff correct in Synergy, these are all your learning targets that you can choose Schoology to pick. So what you want to do is, let's say I was going to use learning target 1B. I just hit create new Schoology category, come down here and I'm going to hit save. Alright, so learning target 1B. Now when I go to create an assignment, let's say I did homework 1B. Alright, under category I can actually assign it to my learning target. Alright, I pick the points depending on how you have it set up. You'll have to do a little trial and error here with Synergy. But this is the box to pay attention to, the sync to SIS. By default, the box is always checked. Now even if you're not passing grades back and forth, don't panic if that box is checked. You have to manually sync the grades back and forth. So even if this box is checked and you're like, oh, I'm not grading this in Synergy, that's okay. All right, you have to manually sync the grades if you want them to go back and forth. If you don't want to worry about passback, don't worry about these boxes. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that box checked. Let's pretend like I'm going to have something due on the 28th. Again, I can pick different grading periods for different classes if I really wanted to. All right, but I can hit create there. Now, when I go through their assignments, and let's say I scored all these assignments, and they will show up in the gradebook once I have them scored. All right, what I get to do then, I get to come over here and click on this sync button. Now, the reason why my assignments aren't showing is the school year isn't officially active and I haven't graded any of the assignments. But if I click this sync button, all right, all the scores that are in here will sync to Synergy. So there are a few complications with that, and it is a little bit of a tricky process, but it is something that if you want to test out, you certainly can. I'm willing to help out anybody who wants to try that feature and just give it a shot with maybe an assignment or two, but you do have the ability to pass stuff back and forth between Schoology and Synergy. Again, just go through that kind of setup, pick the learning targets that you want right there, and then when you create your assignments, pick the learning targets to match, and then when you do the gradebook, you just need to sync those together by clicking this button. Again, test it out, try it out, and if you like it, it's something that you can use. And the very last thing I'm going to show you here is just a couple of features that I think are handy, whether students are at distance learning or they're away from school. The analytics, you have the ability to see when students were logged on. Just a few things nice to see there. You can kind of check in on students and see when they've been accessing stuff and when they've been working on. And then the workload planning. I showed this one off a little bit last year. You can kind of see when other things, students in other classes have stuff assigned. Only really works if everything's been assigned through Schoology and people put in the correct Schoology dates there. But it is, again, a nice feature to kind of check in. So analytics on the left side here, workload planning, those two items are right there. Those are kind of some of the main differences with the Enterprise version. Obviously, we have more control over items with Enterprise. A lot of things on the back end that work out really great, but I just wanted to give you a quick kind of rundown on things that are available for you. Again, there are more things out there. Feel free to play around, dig through some things, test some things out with the new school year, and if you need any help, you just let me know. Thanks.